guys, how y'all doing? It's me, Johnny, and welcome back to another one of our Sorare videos. Let's dive straight in and talk about the things that have happened this time around with the beautiful game of football, and if we have gotten ourselves some rewards once again. Now, you can clearly see immediately that I've been let down big time by three players, sadly, this game week. We're talking about Enzo, Florentino Luis, and Zion Fleming. Now, even though those three have kind of let me down, we have seen the goalkeeper and the centre back do an absolute madness. And we got really lucky there as well, because if you guys think about the fact that they had two games this game week, which was Burnley, right? Burnley played against Stoke City and Swansea City in the same game week. So the first game was a 91.8 and the second game was a 38.8 from Harvard Bellis, which is basically the lowest score he's had ever since game week 266. So I basically missed out on one of the games where Harvard Bellis wasn't necessarily dominating and missed out on one of his bad scores, which was bound to come, but it had absolutely no influence on what has happened right here for this game week. So I love to see that. So going back to it, you guys can tell we got pretty lucky. Initially, I wanted to go ahead and captain Harvard Bellis, but then I read so much into the fact that Enzo Fernandez would be back. And looking back, honestly, it was a dumb decision. Because if you think about it, if you have someone that is as consistent as Harvard Bellis, you probably should captain him, especially if you don't necessarily know that Enzo is going to play or not. Now, Enzo did play, but he might as well not have played because his performance was bad. And Florentino Luis picked up a yellow card like 30 minutes into the game and then got subbed off for the second half of the game. So basically, they were trying to be sure that he doesn't get a red card. So that's what happened. And yeah, it's fine. Florentino Luis is still getting me 45.6 points in just one half. So yeah, the new purchase into the club is still bringing in a new reward. And that is going to be a tier 2 rare. Now, in terms of tier 2 rares, we are all the way at the bottom of the price pool, as you guys can tell right here. 48th gets a tier 2 rare. We are the 46th. And this is not a reward video. This is a video in which I want to talk to you guys about certain things. But yeah, 46th, I would love to get a Dante. Dante was a great player for Graz before he got injured or something like that. So he would be a long hold. Obviously, he plays together with Keito Nakamura. So, oh, actually, no, he doesn't. Nakamura plays at Lask. But Dante is a good player. I would like to get him if possible. Linen plays at Union Saint-Gilloise. I mean, there are plenty of really decent players like Pepelu and stuff that I wouldn't mind getting at all. So we'll see what happens. Tuta from Eintracht Frankfurt would be nice because I'm like only 20 minutes away from the stadium. So yeah, we could even get ourselves another Elmalu. We'll see what happens. But yeah, that will come up in a different video. I'll just be posting it on Twitter depending on how much I really like the reward that we are getting ourselves. But guys, I made a big boy decision. Yes, I've gone ahead and decided something for this upcoming game week. And that is the fact that basically for this upcoming game week, we barely have, or actually only have two under 23 goalkeepers that are going to be playing. If you look at the list of under 23 goalkeepers coming up for this next game week, you only have Kaneseki, who literally has one card, and you have Bayazit. Bayazit is probably the only goalkeeper that people are going to be using in under 23, and that means it is very, very hard to win anything in under 23 this week if you don't have a goalkeeper. If you have a goalkeeper, you're looking very good. I mean, there's going to be probably a lot of people that are going to be able to win stuff without a goalkeeper even because they have some of the big names. But if you have a goalkeeper, you're in pole position. Now, Bayazit was someone that I wanted to get for quite some time. So I believe that he is going to be someone that moves to one of the big teams in Turkey, and he's already the best performing goalkeeper based on stats, not just clean sheets, but actually like making saves in game. I don't like it when people go ahead and, you know, judge goalkeepers off of clean sheets because that has a lot to do with the team's performance, but the individual performances, which is like expected goals against them and how well they perform against it. Bayazit has been the best goalkeeper in Turkey statistically, apparently, in these past months. So not just past months, possibly last year even. So I wanted to get this guy into my team. For the under 23 range, he's probably the best in there. I mean, he definitely is. He's the only one that really plays. So yeah, he's a beast. We got him into the club, and I let go of Anthony Morris. So Anthony Morris, the Union Saint-Gilloise goalkeeper, has left, and for that, I brought in Bayazit. Now, I am aware that his under 23 is running out by the end of the season, but again, as I said, I personally fully expect that this guy gets a big move in this summer because his contract is running out in 2024. So only 1 year left when we get to this summer. And at that point, they will probably want to cash in on him because he has been the best goalkeeper in Turkey. Now, you can tell this score wasn't great. He didn't do too well against Alanyaspor and conceded 3 goals, so got the negative decisive. But I personally have a lot of faith in this guy, and I do think he will move to one of the big clubs in Turkey. If not, he could move back to Netherlands, because in Netherlands, I think that's where he started off at Vitesse, if I'm not mistaken. So it's really nice to have those types of opportunities for someone like him. But especially if he stays in Turkey and goes to one of the big clubs, that would really make me happy to keep him as a challenger goalkeeper for the future. So yeah, I bought into Bayazet now, and if you look at like his 1 year average, you can kind of tell like he was up to like 2,000 euros at one point. Now he's basically half, but you can see the consistency in his price for a little while, and it's probably going to be quite consistent now as well, unless a lot of people sell out of under 23 and panic. But I think he's a great goalkeeper for challenger or just all-star in general after this period. So I bought into it. His price wasn't too far away from the likes of Morris. Morris I sold for like 0.85 ETH, I believe. And I got myself Bayazet for basically 1 ETH, or a little bit more than 1 ETH, actually. So yeah, pretty happy with the fact that he's in. And he opens up a whole new can of whoop-ass. Let's say that, because I have put together a team, lads. And I've made some more purchases. Now, I have gone ahead and spent 0.5 ETH on the remaining pieces for this team. We have Bayazet, who's going to be playing against Fatih Karagümrük, who are actually on fire. But if he doesn't concede 3 goals, I'm fully expecting 50 plus points from Bayazet, just based off of a lot of the saves that he will have to make. Borini and those guys from Karagümrük are actually insane. But Kayseri playing at home gives me hope right here. And then Saliba, even though he has performed quite badly lately, he's up against Newcastle United. It is possibly one of the biggest games of the season for Arsenal right here. It's first versus third, and I would love to see Arsenal go ahead and do well here. And I do think Saliba will have a lot to do, which could obviously lead to him making mistakes or him actually doing well in terms of AA score. So pretty happy with the fact that Saliba is there. And then Furkan Bayer is going to be the only super rare that I throw in. I am going to be playing on a 23 Pro because I think a lot less people will be jumping into here than they will go into the rare division. I honestly think there might be people that make it into the top 25 in under 23 Rare Pro and win a tier 2 rare without a goalkeeper. So, and even possibly without a super rare. I genuinely can't see that happen. So then we have brought in Ndiaye Ishimiye. That guy has been brought into the team because he's a beast. And I brought him in with like a 10% boost on him, or like a 9.5% on him. And this guy is ridiculous. Now, he is mispositioned. He plays centre-back. And as a centre-back, like, his scores would be insane. But sadly, he's being counted as a midfielder. But we'll take it. We have brought him into the team, and he's up against Gaziantep, which is technically not one of the toughest matchups right here. Again, another under 23 that is running out. Don't get me wrong. And then we have Choir here, another player that is a little bit unknown, and even was unknown to me. But then I realized this guy used to play for my dad's team, I believe. And let me see the picture here. Yeah, Yeni Malatyaspor. That's the team that my dad used to coach. So I saw that and I was like, wait, this guy, maybe I should just bring him in. Now, his performances aren't like insane, but someone as cheap as he was, or not as cheap, I shouldn't say as cheap, but like in terms of under 23 forwards for this game week, there weren't many options, and he has a really decent matchup. And I am thinking that Choyer and Ndiaye Ishimiye, who both play for the same team, could be a decent somewhat stack that we have brought in here into the club. And I know you shouldn't target single game weeks, but guys, if there's one thing that I've learned from Sorare in these past few game weeks, it is that if there aren't many games being played, you're looking good, man. You're looking good for a reward. Honestly, a lot of times in these past couple of weeks where you have seen me in the rewards, I would never be in there if all the under 23s were back and fully playing. And for the fact that my players have been doing so well in a period where there aren't many games, we've been doing really well in terms of rewards. So I'm just looking at that and thinking, you know what, man, just target those smaller game weeks. And I've spent 0.5 ETH on this team right here with Ndiaye Ishimiye and Choyer coming in. But I honestly think I could easily make that back if we just make it into like a tier 1 rare or a star rare, obviously. especially considering that there aren't many matches. We only have the Turkish league, right? So we have the Turkish league right here playing, except Besiktas, which sucks because I would have loved to play those players. I would have had a team ready to go. Premier League, obviously not licensed. Not many players in there are actually on Sorare. And then we have the Serie A, which again isn't necessarily fully licensed, I believe. So we don't have every single player there as well, but obviously a lot more options and possibly some of the more dominant players coming in through the Serie A in this game week. And then we go down into Primeira Liga in Portugal, Braga, Santa Clara. I don't think any of those are on Sorare specifically as like fully licensed. So again, it is a very, very small week, small game week, and the price pool is very enticing. If you have a team to go, it could be very good. It could pay out, it could pay off, and we'll see what happens. But even if it doesn't, we have some great players walking into the club and some more additional options, especially if you're under 23, but also for Challenger after. I'm actually so excited to have Bayazan in the club. So finally, when it comes to under 23 goalkeepers, we have 4 alongside with Osako. We have 5. So we have actual playing 4 under 23 goalkeepers. And the other one, I'm still hoping to see make a big move or somehow return into the starting lineup at Besiktas, which is just wishful thinking at this point. But yeah, again, going back to the players that we have just brought in, take a look at their percentages. 9.5 on Shuair and then 10% on Endai Ishimiye. 3.5 on Bayazet, which obviously isn't great, but Saliba, as you guys might know, if I scroll all the way back, because he's one of my earliest cards, has 12%. So the entire lineup that I have put in here that is going to be playing this upcoming game week has a really, really high percentage, except Bayer and Bayazet. I think Bayer is on like 25, 24.5, something like that. Let's see. Yeah, 24.5, which isn't terrible, obviously. But yeah, still, it's looking great. It's looking very good, and I'm very excited for this upcoming game week. I can't wait to see what happens. We could genuinely be targeting this one at the right time and getting the best out of it. And then after that, it's go season. It's time to go crazy. So after that, we take a look at this. We have these players available, and we will have Bayazet, who has a game. So I will be playing on the 23 Rare Pro in the next game week as well. And the next game week is against Ankara Gücü, which again isn't necessarily an insane opponent. So taking a look at the league table right here, lads, you can tell that Kayseri is in the 8th position. They are playing against Karagümrük, who are technically worse than them, but on form in this game week. And then after that, they're playing against Ankara Gücü, who have conceded 23 goals and only scored 19 and have 16 points. But yeah, we'll see what happens there. We do have Bayazet, who's going to be diving into that lineup, so we can build that together right now, because obviously the underdog rare team does not work anymore as well, because some of those players have surpassed the scores that were necessary to be eligible for it. So underdog rare, we have to reset that one and then go back into the All-Star Rare Pro, reset that one, and go into under 23 Rare Pro. Bang! Bayazet goes in, Hilgers goes in, and then the tough decision, the tough one. This is the one. Now, Enzo, I don't know, man. Benfica looked horrible. They really did. And then Kökçü is rumored to become Enzo Fernandez, his replacement at Benfica. So I don't know how to feel about that either. Now, I do have Xavi Simons against Sparta Rotterdam. I do believe they will be good. But then again, Gakpo has just left. So I don't necessarily know how things are going to go over there. So for me, obviously, first of all, the super rare has to go into it. So the Kuiper goes into it against Cercle Bruges. I can see that being a high-scoring game, like a 2-2, 3-3 type of game. And he's a midfielder card, so it doesn't really hurt him too much if they concede. And then in terms of the forward position, forwards? Oh, yes, Odgaard. It is Odgaard time. So Odgaard would go straight in there, 4th against 13th. That is the ideal solution. And then for the extra, this is where things become kind of tough. Now, I do have Imanol Garcia de Albanese, who is playing for the 2nd place team up against the 22nd. That could possibly be a very good choice, but I do think the smartest thing I can do is banking on Besiktas, banking on Getson Fernandez. So Getson Fernandez has been playing ridiculously well. He has been so good, and I would actually captain him in this squad. I know Kökçü is there, but I want to see I want to see Feyenoord play after coming back. I haven't seen them play with once they are coming and once they have come back yet. So I could do that. And then again, all-star rare. We don't have another additional goalkeeper, so I will have to try and find a way to fit players into the underdog. So in the underdog, we could go Garcia. Oh, that is golden. I love it. Oh, hold on. Sanuc is still eligible for this. Okay, so Gabri Vega could go into this. That is a decent matchup for Celta Vigo. Then Balikwisha could go into this, yes. Or I could use Chuair against the fourth. No, Balikwisha is the one for me. And then Sanuc goes into this. Yeah, that's it. That's an underdog team. I love it. Oh, no, I pressed the wrong button. Sorry, lads. Let's do that again. So it's him, him, and Mr. Sanuc. And then save. Okay, so we would have two teams for the upcoming game week, which is great. I can't wait. And a very, very strong under 23 Rare Pro lineup. And yeah, depending on how things go this game week, hey, maybe we win ourselves another goalkeeper and fit him into the lineups. That would be great. Another bias that would be sick. Is he in the star rares? I'm assuming he's in the star rares. Yeah, he is in the star rares right down the middle. So I do assume, since it's such a small game week, if anyone wins it, I don't think they're going to be getting any of these insane players. The first place probably starts off with one of these lads, possibly like a Van der Voort. There are 8 of him left. So yeah, we'll see what happens, guys. I'm extremely excited about Sorare in general, and I'm absolutely loving the game. Again, don't do what I'm doing necessarily. Like, don't be spending just on one game week. I'm telling you right now, it is not smart. It is not smart at all. But I'm stupid, so it's fine. All right, I'll catch you guys on the next one. And yeah, now that we have a proper goalkeeper in the under 23 rare divisions and also the super rare Osako, which I decided not to sell unless his price goes up massively once the league comes back and it becomes really enticing to sell. I will be letting him go to bring in another under 23 super rare midfielder slash forward, ideally forward. And yeah, still looking at the forward position as the next one that I will be targeting to improve. And with all these players now in the club, the good thing is we can make a lot of decent swap deals possibly with all these rewards coming in. We can go ahead and put together a bunch of players that we're not interested in keeping anymore and then possibly going on and yeah, making a good trade for a big boy attacker. But having said that, the big boy attackers are soon back. Oh, mate, I can't wait for Musiala. I can't wait for Mr. Wirtz to be back and playing, because then the gallery is looking so much stronger. And camera, would you please mind focusing on my face? Thank you. All right, guys, have a good one. I'll catch you on the next one. Take care and wish me luck. And I wish you luck too. All right, take care and peace.